All right, hi guys. I'm here with Londell Jackson, and we are so excited to be welcoming him. I'm going to let him introduce himself and talk a little bit about his organizations and the apprenticeships they offer.
Yes. Hi, my name again is Londell Jackson, and I am the Education and Workforce Development Coordinator here at IECRM, which is the Independent Electrical Contractors Rocky Mountain chapter. We are a 4-year electrical apprenticeship school. We are a non-union based independent electrical contractors association. So we offer, well, like I said before, a 4-year electrical apprenticeship program, which helps individuals to achieve the academic hours that they need to qualify to take their journeyman's licensure examination.
Awesome. And so for students who are interested, are there any requirements to participate? Do they need to be finished with high school? Do they need to be 17, 18?
They need to, students need to at least be old enough to work on a job site, so that as outlined by the federal government, so that is at least 16 years old. The ICRM does not have any educational requirements. However, as a true apprenticeship program, you have to be in school and you have to be employed with a contractor. So many contractors require either a high school diploma or a GED.
So when you talk about working with a contractor, do you help students find contractors to work with and then they do the apprenticeship through you, or do students need to find that work on their own to begin the apprenticeship?
So that's really about kind of like a chicken before the egg type thing. So I'll give you kind of almost a wishy-washy answer, sort of. It depends. A student can work with a contractor prior to being enrolled here at IECRM, and that's totally fine. And as a matter of fact, we encourage that because oftentimes students who come to us who are already employed with an electrical contractor, those contractors will typically pay 100% of that student's tuition and books. Differently, on the other side of the coin, if a student comes to us not attached to a contractor, which is totally fine again, we enroll them through what's called our Office of Apprenticeship program, which is a program through the U.S. Department of Labor's Office of Apprenticeship program. Through that process, the incoming student would fill out some paperwork for the federal government's Office of Apprenticeship program. They would go through a brief interview process. They would take a math test, and the math test is the same math test that any incoming student would need to take. And then they would, once successfully completing that math test, they would be placed on what's called our hire list. And our hire list is a list of individuals who have gone through that, what we shorten to OA, that OA process, and is distributed to all of our member contractors. And we have roughly about a little bit more than 180 member contractors. And so from that point, the contractors, when they're looking for employees, they can go to that hire list and they can select to contact individuals from that hire list. Additionally, we encourage individuals who are posted on that hire list to make contact with those contractors, so they're not just waiting around to be contacted. So we encourage them to make application to those contractors and let them know that they're willing and waiting to be hired. The sooner they do that, or the earlier they do that, then the probability of them getting through the employer's probationary period for employment to access the employer benefits, which would also include being paid or having their education paid for, would be accessible to that student.
Can we talk a little bit about the cost of the apprenticeship? So over the cost of the 4 year, or over the time frame of the 4 years, if a student is not connected to an employer that is paying their tuition, is there a cost to the student directly?
Yes. So so each year is roughly about $3,000. Is that right? Yeah, $3,000, sorry. And so you're going to, and that breaks down to the first semester, and so you would pay by semester, is about $1,300, whereas the second semester is about what is that? About $600, $700. And the first semester you pay for your year or your year's worth of books and then your tuition. Second semester you pay just for your tuition. And so 3 years worth of $3,000. So that gives us $12,000 for over 4 years.
On the flip side, can we talk about the average salary range for a student who is participating in these apprenticeships?
Certainly. So salary for apprentices starting out green, which means that individuals who have never worked as an electrician at all, usually starts out around $14.50 to $15 an hour. And apprentices will get a raise every 6 months. And so by the time you're finished with your 4 years of apprenticeship, you're usually making anywhere between $23 to $25 an hour. Once you have completed your apprenticeship and you pass your journeyman licensure examination, you can easily make anywhere, starting, I should say, anywhere from $55,000 and up, because once you're making a journeyman's, once you have that journeyman's license, you're able to manage a company, you're able to start a company, and then if you get your master's license, then you can do whatever you want to, quite honestly, in the electrical industry.
Absolutely. For students that are wanting to participate in your apprenticeships, are there time frames that they need to, are there like cohort time frames that they would be applying for, or that they would need to start at a specific date?
Yes. So we have, for first year students and first year students only, we have 2 start dates that begin in the fall. Registration for our traditional, or what we call our regular start date, is open in June with a start date in August. And then we have a late start, again for first year students only, where you would begin registration in August for an October start date. And so we have 1 start date per year, and that again is in the fall. And then we run on semesters, and so the fall semester typically will begin in August, end in December, begin in January, and end in June or May or June, somewhere around there. Sorry.
Sometime in there. I got it. If students are looking at a couple different electrical apprenticeships, why should they choose to work with your organization specifically?
Because IECRM, we are probably one of the most flexible as far as where you can take your apprenticeship. We have 4 campuses throughout the metro area. We have our main campus, which is located here in North Glen. We have our South campus, which is located in Parker. We also have a campus which is located in Fort Collins. And then we also have a campus which is online. So we call that a campus. And so, and as we have experienced through this pandemic, that we have that ability to be nimble, to regardless where you go, choose if it's on campus or online, that if you need to be in class, you can be in class. And if you need to be online, you can be online. And that's the model that we're striving to when we begin classes in the fall, that we're looking at a hybrid class. So again, individuals who may primarily take classes in class. If you need to take a class online for whatever reason for that week, you do that. And further, not that I have the knowledge of all the apprenticeship classes everywhere. All of our classes are taught by at least journeyman electricians, but the majority of our electricians are master electricians that have been in the field for 15, 20 years plus. They're all current with all of their licensure. They great men and women. They are supportive. Students have the ability to connect with them not just on an educational basis, but also on a professional / personal basis. So it's also it's a community here at IECRM, quite honestly. And you're also part of a national organization. IECRM is a Rocky Mountain chapter, yes, and we are a component of IEC Incorporated, which is located in Washington or Virginia. And so there are IEC chapters across the country. And so not the same, but similar to a union, you can pick up and go anywhere you want to in the country and be successful.
Great. Well, is there anything else you would like to add for any students? Any last tidbits?
I would say, if you're willing or wanting to come by and see the campus, you're more than welcome. Just feel free to give us a call, and we would definitely love to show you around the building, show you the hands-on lab that we have. But it's always a great time to be an electrician. We are one of the essential trades that have prevailed through this pandemic. One thing that you'll realize is that you will always, always, always need electricity. So if the trades are what you're looking into, definitely consider becoming an electrician. It is something that you will never go without work, quite honestly.
One last thing I completely brushed over. For students that want to apply and maybe are not connected to a contractor already, how should they get in touch with you?
Yes, definitely. Visit our website at iecrm.org, and it's basically on our homepage, and you can schedule an OA interview and just click on the button, and you should just start from there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.